is Africa, and Omni-Economy. The agenda for today is that the teams will present their business idea in a quick pitch of 3 minutes, followed by a 3 minutes Q&A from the jury. After 6 teams have presented their idea, we will have a short break and then the remaining teams will present. Lastly, the winner will be announced at 5 p.m. Speaking about the jury, let's introduce them. We have Lars Strannegård, the president of the Stockholm School of Economics. We have Jenny Berge, CEO at Sales Only. And thirdly, we have Axel Karlsson, senior partner at McKinsey Stockholm. And fourthly, we have Julia Delin, CEO at SSE Business Lab. And last but not least, Luca Banderet, founding partner of J12 Ventures. Now, let's get the competition started and invite the first team up on stage. Do you hear me now? Is it clear? Okay, good. We will. Yep. Okay, to the. We will be back in 5 minutes.
He wants to make an impact with his investment, but none of the existing investment instruments make him feel like his dollar invested is actually making a difference. What if we told Bob there could be a way how he could make a real and visible impact without having to spend hours trying to understand what the heck the companies in his green bonds are actually doing? We have good news for all the Bobs in the world. There is a way. And that way? It's BMO. BMO, making it easy to lend to projects with an impact and knowing exactly whom you support. So let me show how it works. So first, an SME or a startup that has a project that aligns with SDGs and is in need of financing applies for a loan. We analyze the credit risk of the company, and together with the SME, we set the loan period and also the interest rate. As an investor, you select a project that is addressing an issue you care about. Get to know the project story and the milestones they've set, and lend to them, from starting as with little as 25 euros. Afterwards, you follow up on the milestones they reached, and at the end of the loan period, get back what you lent, plus the predefined interest rate. Not only we're addressing an issue that's worth solving, but there is a huge market for it. We believe that BMO has the potential of holding 1 billion of assets within the next 5 years. And we have a very simple business model on how we're going to do this. We take 2% commission of all the loans raised through our platform. And we have designed very clear steps on how we're going to capture the market. So first, we're going to develop an MVP. Then get a partnership with a local bank trusted in the field of sustainability to hold the first transaction between our onboarded projects and our investors. Then we're going to apply for a European crowdfunding license and hold transactions independently. Then we're going to expand in Europe and globally. And we do have the right team for this. Me and Matthias, we have experience in working with startups, funding NGOs, and expanding into new markets. We will bring together our expertise from working in consulting and investment banking. But most importantly, we have been the Bob ourselves, and we don't want it to stay that way. That's why we are going to shape the future of impact investing. So let's beam into a better future. Thank you. And we don't want it to stay that way. That's why we are going to shape the future. Oh yeah, the judges can ask the questions now.
Okay, I can start.
Sorry,
really good presentation. I am wondering if you have looked at
could
other
you repeat?
types of...
We had some sound issues.
No worries. I was wondering if you have been looking at other competitors doing the same thing and thought about how you are going to stand out to them.
Yeah, of course we had a first look already, and we can basically categorize them into several categories. And of course, there are on one hand normal banks, and with banks there come also the ESG funds and ESG bonds. If you see them, they don't, or if you go with them, you don't have like the specific project that you really have in mind as an investor, so you don't know what the project is about. If you see, on the other hand, lending platforms, you don't get the interest rate. So what we are doing, we are combining all the potential possible factors into one product, and therefore, bringing a new solution to the market.
There is also a local competitor, Trine. We have identified it, but it covers only one very specific field of impact investing, which is solar energy. And we want to be much broader and also expand into more regions than Trine has so far.
Interesting. Maybe one question from me. So, sorry if I interrupted you, Jenny. So are you only going to do loans, and is there a reason, or could you use your platform also for equity investing?
There is a reason why we're doing only loans, because we're working with, as I said, SMEs and startups. For equity investing, the startups or SMEs would have to give big portion of their business away to investors, and we don't want that. We want for them to have more flexible options, as well as if it was equity investing, we would have to closely categorize how SMEs and startups show us their revenues and profits, and that would be a much harder process for SMEs and startups. That's why we're doing only loans.
What is the biggest risk that you see with this?
Okay, yeah, for the biggest risk in the beginning is, of course, if the first project doesn't get filled with funds, if you don't find enough investors in the first project. But I think we can cover this one with a pretty aggressive marketing in the beginning, with good networking from our side. So that would be the biggest thing in the beginning we can cover there.
As well as we said, our first partnership would be with a local bank, so that would give us the credibility also from investor side.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. That was the last question from judges' side. And thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Evelina Bernardo, and this is, or will be, EB Swim. Today, all women can go to buy the same swimwear at the same store. They either go to Company 1, who offers smaller sizes, or Company 2 offers other sizes. And the options are pretty expensive. And this, of course, creates an exclusiveness where all women are not included. And this, of course, leads to insecurity. And I want to change that. I want to offer a broad range of sizes, and so every woman can find something that fits them and feels comfortable. I also want it to be affordable, with having affordable prices in the market. And I also will offer 3 types of tops and 3 types of bottoms to maximize comfort and therefore increase comfortability and confidence. The swimwear market today in Europe for women is about 1.94 billion, and I believe that EB Swim will have 3 to 4 million of those. And the competition today, consisting of mostly swimwear experienced brands that only sell swimwear, are pretty expensive, and they offer a narrow range of sizes. I want to change that. And the team consists of me and my desire to change the industry, and with a great fashion interest, but most importantly, I have a willingness to learn and develop from others. I always ask questions and is curious, and I think that's my biggest characteristic. And how will I make money? I will sell them per piece so that it can mix and match the tops and bottoms so they will be comfortable. And how it is connected to sustainability? I would say is rooted in sustainability, because the main agenda why I'm doing this is to empower all women. I want them to feel comfortable, confident in their own body, and by including them in an industry that is now separated, I think I will be on the way to empowering all women. And I also aim to not contribute to the fast fashion trend by designing classic and timeless swimwear that you can wear for years. So, why do I do this? I mean, it's easy to say for us to have a bikini body, so-called. All you need is a bikini and a body. But how are women supposed to believe that when the swimwear isn't offered in the sizes? When the models, marketing efforts, and products are now representing them, but only normal size bodies, not petite, not plus size. I want the labels to be gone. But most importantly, I want every woman to rock their own bikini body. I want them to feel confident, I want them to feel comfortable, and that is my goal. And to do that, I want them to be included in the same industry and not put labels. So, yes, that's me. Questions?
Yes, maybe I can start. Thanks so much for this. Interesting. Could you provide us a little bit more information about your planned supply chain and a little bit about the marketing, how you do that?
Yes. My supply chain, I have contact with Business Sweden and Poland. And therefore, most swimwear brands export from China. But I want more control, and I also want the transportation to be closer. So therefore, I will help with the design, take help in-house in the Poland industry of swimwear, and therefore then ship to Sweden and sell via e-commerce mostly, but later on maybe in other stores as well.
And how will you reach out? What's the marketing plan then?
Yeah, my marketing plan is to include everyone, and I want to be a platform where the products can be visualized on all different types of bodies. Because nowadays, you look at the screen, you see how the bikini fits one person. And of course, this creates returns, because then you maybe order 2 sizes because you are uncertain. But if every size is visualized on a person with that size, maybe we'll decrease returns, save money, save the environment, and also create an industry that is more open for all kinds of bodies.
Thank you.
Any more?
Hi, maybe I can ask a question here. Thanks for the presentation. What do you think are the challenges we're having such a broad range of products? And could it be, beneficial to maybe focus on the sizes that maybe are not available today instead of doing the full set? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that would kind of not go with the vision of including everyone. I want it to be a brand where everyone feels included, even those with so-called normal bodies today. And therefore, I want to offer all sizes. And I think even the normal size bodies would appreciate that kind of effort. And I will want to create a swimwear brand that is inclusive for everyone and everyone feels comfortable, because that will also increase confidence. So that's why I want every size. And of course, there's risks because there will be a lot of products for just one type of like top or bottom. But I think it's worth it, and I believe that it's going to sell, because the marketing efforts, I will want them to be inclusive and reach out to as many as possible. Yeah, thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
The future of storing data is here. As we're moving into the third decade of blockchain technology, and with a number of booms in cryptocurrencies during the last few years, blockchain technology is now becoming a renowned phenomenon with an immense amount of opportunities. Among other things, blockchain technology is the solution to a massive and growing global problem. According to a 2020 report done by McAfee, the estimated average cost of cybercrime almost doubled between 2018 and 2020, standing at an almost staggering amount of $1 trillion in 2020 alone. In the same report, companies were asked regarding cybersecurity. Out of the 1,500 companies surveyed, 96% stated that they had experienced at least one issue regarding cybersecurity. To truly understand this problem, one have to understand what causes these breaches in privacy and what blockchain technology does differently than the existing solutions on the market.
Today, companies really only have two alternatives in file storage. It's either in-house storage or cloud storage. In-house storage offers compliance and full control, but it lacks in costs, maintenance, and space. Cloud storage offers good accessibility and scalability, but it lacks in privacy, security, and it hands over the power of your data to big tech corporations such as Google, Amazon, or Microsoft. We are Calibre, a file storage software that captures the best of both worlds. We use blockchain technology in order to allow decentralized and encrypted file storage and sharing. And so you get the accessibility and scalability of cloud storage, and you get the compliance and full control of in-house storage. And the best of all, you get all this at a cheaper price tag than any alternatives. Now, looking at the market, and only looking at the Swedish market with companies with more than 10 employees and in office-heavy sectors, we have a possible annual revenue of 2.13 billion crowns per year. And keep in mind, this is a very segmented lead market.
Calibre enables companies to hire the best of their field no matter where they work or how confidential the information is. It endorses a globalized economy. Working towards decentralization renders data centers obsolete. Calibre's technology is environmentally neutral the second that electricity is. We are two first-year students here at the Bachelor Program in Business and Economics, and we are currently looking for a third member, a full-stack developer working full-time in developing Calibre. Calibre is all about performance, and the person most fit for the job, no matter gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status, will be the one hired. Note, though, that our view on diversity is and will always be that it enhances business performance.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, thanks. Maybe I can hop in with a question here. Thanks for the presentation. A little question around the technology. If you kind of decentralize on the blockchain everything that you store, I guess you're still going to need storage somewhere. So it sounds quite expensive. What are your how did you arrive at a solution that is cheaper than traditional cloud storage?
Yeah, so what we do is, in practice, we rent extra disk space on private people's computers all over the world. And so we divide the files into 30 segments, send each one out to different people encrypted, and so we rent their extra space on their computers.
Yeah, and the cost of 1 terabyte storage on the SIA network we will use is around $1 to $2. So we have a pretty good margin setting the prices. And today, on the existing cloud storage solutions, 1 terabyte storage is around 100 crowns.
Yeah, it's a Pied Piper from Silicon Valley, I guess. I guess still the challenge will be to kind of decompose and recompose and having accessibility to all the data. But yeah, would be great if it works.
And I have a question, which is, can you do this? Because this, I think your potential calculation is a factor of 1 million too low if it's doable. But is it doable? Do you know that?
Yeah, so we decided to be very conservative in our market sizing. And of course, the market is immensely bigger if we actually succeed. But the technology is possible. That's a fact. It has been done for private people. And so the problem we saw with the blockchain technology of storing files today is it's kind of niche towards people that know a lot about coding or crypto. And so what we do is we offer a corporate interface to seamlessly integrate this technology in a simple-to-use program for businesses.
And to add to that, we have also been in touch to developers on Skynet Labs, which is application done to SIA Network, and they have confirmed that it is doable.
And then I wonder if it's already been done, why isn't anyone selling it to businesses yet?
It's not been done in this form. The technology exists, like with everything else, and so we're using technology in a new business, in a new segment.
Yeah, so the technology is, you can store as a private person. If you look at it like a straw, with an individual on one end and the SIA network, it's doable for me to go in and store on the SIA network. What we want to create is like a funnel for corporations and their employees to, like, we handle all the in between, but they should like end up in the SIA networks.
It's easy to use, and also there are a lot of the prices will fluctuate a lot for the portal, which is us, and so businesses can't really take that cash flow risk in actually hosting a portal themselves. And so with everything else, just like businesses don't want their own data center, they don't want their own portal to the blockchain.
Thanks for the questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How do I make sustainable purchase decisions? I joined the EDIT program at SSC Business Lab to find a solution for this challenge, and I found 6, at that time strangers, who had been asking themselves the same question. Consumers today increasingly want to understand how to make sustainable purchase decision, but it's so hard to get that information. So either you have to gather from multiple platforms, or you have to try to calculate it yourself. And that requires time and effort most of us people don't have. And that's why we invented Archer. Archer is a platform that provides customers with a single place to compare products and services on both price and sustainability. Just enter the product or service that you're looking for to buy, and you will find price info as well as sustainability rating. And Archer will even recommend the best choice. The team behind Archer is incredibly diverse. We're all very passionate about making sustainability accessible to anyone, with a core belief that knowledge is power. And that is what unites us and drives us forward. We are also entering an attractive market. The SOM, the market that we believe that we can capture, it consists of online shoppers who care about sustainability and have a willingness to change their shopping behavior by using a comparison tool. Archer has two key differentiators from other players in the market. Firstly, Archer includes both price and sustainability, whilst many other players in the market often just use one or the other. Secondly, Archer empowers customers with the knowledge about the carbon footprint of a product or service before rather than after the purchase is made. Therefore, the customer can make an informed decision and without have to learn by doing. Our business model is based on affiliate marketing. However, what really sets us apart is a sustainability-focused user base. This growing segment is of key interest for companies looking to the future, which makes our ability to reach that group with targeted promotions very valuable. Our strategy is based on main revenues of ads and affiliate links, which scales extremely well with rapid user growth and aggressive international expansion, which also increases the need for companies to be present on our platform. Archer contributes directly to SDG 12, but also have positive spillovers on other SDGs like 13, for example. Climate change is an existential problem, and consumers across the globe increasingly want to make an informed decision. And Archer meets this exponentially growing need with a scalable solution. Questions?
Yes, I can start. Thanks a lot. Very interesting. So how will you get the sustainability data or the footprint sort of each product?
Yes, thank you for the question. So the main solution we will go for is partnering with companies, contacting companies directly and getting sustainability data from them. The second step we are going to do, we will validate that data from the third party to make sure that their sustainability is correct and honest. And after we validated the data, we will publish it on our platform. Additionally, we considering to work with a third party company that will help us to get data from the company, from the retailer, for instance, if the retailer wants to.
What risk do you see?
So there is a risk that companies don't want to give out this data, but at the same time, the future lies in sustainability. So why wouldn't you as a company want to prove that you are working and improving your sustainability? Because that's like the main competitive advantages in the future.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if you believe this is the business model is sustainable when you are analyzing all of the products yourself and you only take 10% commission. How have you come to that conclusion?
Sorry, I didn't hear the full question. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, how have you calculated that the business model is sustainable given that you test or you get all of the sustainability data yourself and pay for that?
Yeah. So the 10% affiliate link is basically what is the standard for that market, 5 to 10%. But regarding the sustainability, our goal is to present to the customers the rating from the retailer, and make sure that the retailer is sustainable on itself.
Yeah, and I just want to add that it's the companies themselves that offer the data, and we will just validate it, so it's not like greenwashing. So I think that it could be possible to scale.
But it won't cost you anything to validate it, you mean?
It could cost us to validate, to pay a salary for the person that validates that, or partnering with another company if they want to get any commission from that. But it's just a negotiation part, how much it's going to cost to us. And thank you for the questions. Our time is out.
It is a global irony that the world's most in need are also those who lack access to finance. Low-income households and businesses in developing countries face an unmet financing need of $5.2 trillion every year. And even when we do get access to finance, they pay extortionately high interest rates on their borrowings. But there's a second complementary issue that really frustrates us at EMEC. That is that high-income investors are struggling to earn a positive interest rate and also struggling to find real impact investments. So just imagine the possibilities of bringing these two groups together. This is where we come in. There's already a niche but growing process connecting investors to microfinance borrowers. First, the investors pay into MIVs, microfinance investment vehicles, which then invest in MFIs, microfinance institutions, who do the ultimate lending to borrowers. But right now, the MIVs and the MFIs are run entirely separately, meaning high costs of interaction, low transparency, and very few synergies. This is what we hope to change by creating an end-to-end vertically integrated investment process. Now, the market and business models are already proven. Some of the world's wealthiest individuals invest in MIVs right now. These are our customers. And just a few of these investors go a very long way because of the amount of capital they can commit. And this is why our market opportunity is already so big. Now, we intend to launch an MIV here in Sweden in year 1, and by year 3, we'll acquire our first MFI out in Africa, which gives us a clear path to profitability, even based on average industry fund sizes and margins. Moreover, this is an early stage growth industry, meaning plenty of potential to scale up operations. Our assumed market of 3.3 billion is a drop in the ocean compared to the $2.1 trillion of global impact investing assets out there already. And on that note, our impact could not be higher. By lending to those who need it most and reducing their cost of finance, we are directly targeting SDG number 1, no poverty. MIVs, of course, are our closest competitors, but our approach has higher impact and higher returns. And with our combined experience of ESG investing, microfinance, and fast-growing startups, we know what's required to pull this off. We're going to target higher yield, higher impact opportunities across Africa, placing a lot of emphasis on giving value additive technical assistance to borrowers. So our ask of you is to provide your help and expertise to accelerate this idea into reality and to identify the best opportunities for impact across Africa. The time for taking action on poverty is now, and we want you to join us on our journey to become the world's most inclusive microfinance provider. And I'm free for questions now. As is my partner.
Could you shed some light on the process that you're envisioning to select different investment opportunities?
Select investment opportunities. So the way it works currently is there are a bunch of MIVs, few but at large scale right now, mainly based in Switzerland, who do a lot of due diligence into different MFIs around the world. There's pretty broad geographic spread right now. This is why we target Africa, because we see higher yield opportunities and higher impact opportunities. But essentially, it's like a big due diligence process to find these MFIs. And in terms of then finding investors for the MIVs, they have quite a traditional fund sales approach. So they reach out to private banks mainly, also certain foundations that are interested in these sorts of impact opportunities with a profit.
So would it be fair to say that you're a broker?
It's more than that. So on one sense, we are trying to connect people directly to microfinance borrowers. There's an intermediation aspect to that. But on the other sense, part of our idea focuses on going beyond just being an MIV. It's a very important part of a step, but if we can integrate that with the MFI, we can build a community around this, where in the longer term, we envisage a scenario where we do connect together a lot of knowledge, a lot of assets, and a lot of technical expertise, which can be shared and ultimately help everyone. It's a loan-based approach as opposed to an equity approach, precisely because we want people to take ownership of their own businesses in Africa. But by creating this kind of community, you can go a long way to help.
And in addition to that, we have seen that the fund market is really traditional. There's a bunch of white men sitting in Switzerland just lending out a lot of money, and they're not in the forefront of technical innovation, to be fair to say. So that is what we plan to change.
I have a question. Aren't there anyone combining the MIBs and the MFIs today? And if not, why do you think that nobody has done it yet?
Yeah, that's a good question. Right now, there is no one doing this exactly. There are a couple of large MIVs who are kind of close. So Symbiotics is probably one of the main competitors, where they have a very integrated approach in doing their due diligence. They spend a lot of time on the ground trying to work it out, but they still haven't gone the full route to integration. And the reason why is kind of because this is a new industry. It's been around reliably for 5 to 10 years, but predominantly this sort of microfinance was done by development organizations like the World Bank or national groups like SIDA. So it's only recently gone into the hands of private individuals. So I just don't think they're that far down the curve yet. Thank you for the questions. I think we've just run out of time.
Okay, so now we will have the sixth team, and they are unfortunately here, so we will have them only by presentation. So see you later.
So, hi, we're Unimate. Unfortunately, we can't be in person today because of Corona, but we will hope that this digital platform will help us anyway. Next slide. So, what's the problem? Why we're here today. So, the reason why we're here today is because there's a problem that both we, but also a lot of our friends have experienced. That there's a lack in the market today of a platform that helps you and naturally connect.
Okay, so now we will have the sixth team, and they are unfortunately here, so we will have them only by presentation. So see you later.
Philip, turn off your live stream, please. You should be able to continue now. It should be fine.
You had the live stream in the background.
But it's okay, Philip. No one is talking in the live stream, so you can just continue now.
All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. All right, so why are we here today? We're here today because there's a problem that both we, but also a lot of our friends have experienced. There is no natural way of connecting with new people today outside of your social sphere. That are in the same life situation as you are in, students. Next slide. So how do we solve this problem? We solve this problem by providing a digital platform where students from Stockholm, but also University in Uppsala can register and meet new people that are in the same life situation as we are in. Both new friendships, but also potential partners. Next slide. So the initial market is valued today to be around $40 million in Sweden, but it's growing rapidly every year. Next slide.
Yes, so what are we doing different from our competitors? Like big social media sites have the problem that they do not allow you to like meet new people on their sites. Dating apps have the problem that they are very time consuming and often doesn't connect you with the people with the same life situation you are in. Udemy does offer a solution to all of these problems. Next slide. So what about the team? We have a strong tech foundation with two experienced programmers with years of experience in the field. We have two SSE students who who handles all the business aspects, and a law student who handles the legal aspect. To avoid future pitfalls, we plan to diversify the team as we are expanding.
Next slide. Yeah, so what about our business model? So we'll have two main revenue streams. We'll have advertisements, since we can provide such a niche target group for the companies who want to advertise. Students in Uppsala and Stockholm who want to reach that target group. We can provide a very good return on investment. The other part of the business builds on a freemium model where the students that doesn't want to see the ads, they can pay around 40 crowns a month to not see these ads. Next slide. Yeah, here's just some stats. Next slide. So how about scalability? So we're, as you can see, we're here today pitching. We're launching the app in end of summer, doing an A round, building a strong sales and marketing division. And then we're going to expand and build a strong user base in Sweden. And then we're going to expand internationally, since our technical aspects of our app makes it easy to just scale and move across the borders. Next slide. And how is this connected to sustainability? Our company doesn't require more strains on Earth by more consuming, because a lot of people in the target group already has a smartphone, so you just have to download the app. They don't have to consume anymore. And also, study shows that meeting new people and connecting with new people it provides and promotes mental health and well-being, which is part of the CGGs. And next slide. Yeah, so we're Unimate, we're connecting the future, and now it's up to you if you want to be part of it or not.
So I can go have a question here. What is your thinking around your go-to-market strategy? Your first customers or students, how are you going to create an experience for them that is balanced?
Yeah. So a lot of us, since we're students, we have like the idea comes from ourselves. We have experienced the problem. So there's a lot of ambassadors in the sense that experiencing the same problems as we do, that would be ambassadors, tell their friends, and then we would grow through that.
Okay.
So I'm probably not very well informed, but what is the space that you're filling that's not already filled, so to say, in this space?
Yeah, so you have, in Sweden, you have the dating apps, let's say Tinder and Bumble, which is huge, where you meet people. But the thing with those apps is that you don't really know the people that you meet, they might not be in the same life situation. Let's take our team, for example. We work a lot of extra, we have exams, some study double degrees. You have to have a partner or friends that lives about the same life, or has an understanding for it, that you can't, when you have an exam period, that you can't go out partying, for example. And let's say in Facebook and Instagram, they have transitioned to become more of a place where you keep in contact with people you already know, but doesn't provide a natural foundation to build new relationship, and especially not across schools. And we really think that innovation comes from being different people meeting each other, and we think our app can provide that.
Thank you. Do you think that matching people based on the school that they attended is the best way to match future partners?
That's a very hard question because it's quite subjective. But what we do probably know is, like talking from maybe experience, is that if someone has at least maybe they live about the same life, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same schools, but they live about the same life, that those relationships stands much stronger. But then, of course, it might be a problem that SSE alumni go to SSE, but that's okay. Sure, that might happen, but that's not the reason for not developing an app where SSE student can connect with the SU student, or a student from Uppsala can meet someone from Södertörn. Yeah, so time's up, but good. Thank you for good questions.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll have a 10-minute break, and we'll see you in 10 minutes after the sponsor video.
What is fuel? A resource? A currency? An energy? What if it's an idea?
My fuel is a healthier world.
A future where your phone doesn't stress you out, it chills you out.
At Fuel by McKinsey, we are fueled by driving growth across the startup landscape.
My fuel is dreaming up your next favorite app.
A faster, cleaner ride from San Diego to Texas.
Enjoying a sizzling, meaty burger where no animals were harmed in the process.
We help startups and their investors to higher valuations and faster finishes.
My fuel is leaving the world better than I entered it.
And corporates to perpetuate a culture of innovation.
A future where men can have a seat at the table, too.
My fuel is funding the makers of tomorrow.
Because the people who innovate today get to decide what tomorrow looks like.
My fuel is enhancing reality.
Feels like.
My fuel is finding new canvases.
Behaves like.
My fuel is teaching machines to learn.
No matter what fuels you, we can help you accelerate. So, what's your fuel? Fuel. Power to the makers.
Hi, my name is Julia Delin and I'm the CEO at SSE Business Lab.
SSE Business Lab is the venture incubator of Stockholm School of Economics, and we help you as a founder get support with everything that you need to be able to start a business. And for us, that is coaching, mentorship. You are eligible to be connected to investors and anyone in the network that you might need, and of course the access to our office space in the beautiful A house up at Östermalmsgatan. We do that by running 2 different programs, one called Activate, where we help teams with just an idea getting out to the market and getting a prototype out to a customer. And then we have the program called Incubate, where we help teams who already have a prototype and a first customer grow internationally. welcome back, everyone. Now we have the 4 last teams. So yeah, let's get started with the second round.
Have you wasted food this week? Well, I admit I have, but I'm not the only one. On average, we Swedes waste around 45 kilos of food per person every year. And one of the most common reasons is that we have cooked too much.
And as a busy student, I have not even had time for cooking, because who bothers when it's just for one person? So what if we could meet? Foodie is a digital platform connecting people for selling and buying homemade food. And as a seller, you can reduce your food waste, try your wings as a hobby chef, and earn some extra money. And as a buyer, you can discover affordable and authentic food. And Foodie is also a social platform, since there is the possibility to invite each other over for a meal, making it easy to meet new people. And we have a unique spot at the market, since we are a P2P platform, tackling the problem with reducing the household's food waste. And we estimate that we will be able to capture a market share worth 15 million during the first 3 years. And our main target customers in terms of buyers are single households in the cities in the age of 18 to 30 years. So how will we do this? Well, the business model is easy. We take a 10% commission on each transaction, which we estimate will be at around 5 crowns. And with 3 million transactions in total during these first years, this adds up to our estimated market share. And we will scale through an aggressive marketing strategy in combination with global expansion and partnerships. And we will also add on features such as enabling our foodies to offer digital food courses.
Foodie targets SDG goal number 12 by offering a solution for the households to reduce their food waste and their single package usage by encouraging people to bring their own food boxes when picking up their food. We also target goal number 3, as our vision is that Foodie will get people to dine together, which will reduce the widespread loneliness. So, who are we? We are a diverse and dedicated team of SSE students. Odessa and I are former entrepreneurs within the food industry, and we share passion for food and sustainability. And Philip, he has a background in digital marketing, photo, and design. And he's our creative spirit. We look forward to challenge each other in the journey of disrupting the food market when introducing Foodie, so that we foodies can meet.
Thank you for listening, and now we can take questions.
Thanks a lot. Very interesting. Can you just explain to me how?
And now I don't hear anything.
How does this work in practice? If I am hungry this, a Friday afternoon, I want food. What do I do? How do I use Foodie?
Yeah, so we're thinking that Foodie should be an app because, as you say, you want to use it when you are on the go. So it has to be an application.
Yeah, and if you're imagining like karma, you take up your app, you look at the map, and you find something nearby, and you can search by different globes or different planets, and you will find your planet, the Asian planet, or whatever planet you're looking for, the type of cuisine. And then you will go in there and you will look for the area, what type of food, and then you can find what you look forward to eat.
Yeah, exactly. So every seller has a profile, and then they can create like ads and put up like, right now I have these spaghetti bolognese for 50 crowns, and yeah, so that's
or something nearby.
Okay, and what kind of risk do you see with this?
Yeah, so there is a risk that people won't like try or think it's don't want to try out each other's meals because maybe they think it's unhygienic. How do you say it?
I don't know. But at
hygienist, yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we will have a rating system. So you can see like if someone has a good rating, of course, then probably you trust them. And also we see it like an opportunity because people want to eat homemade food, because where can you get this? Because a lot of restaurants now, they're like Swedishizing the food. So this is like, yeah, real authentic food.
And technology, good cameras, good pictures, everything is crystal clear, it looks nice, it tastes nice.
And how will you compete with Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, so Facebook Marketplace, that's like, yeah, the place for sellers. But it's not niched at all on food. And we, yeah, so.
They don't have the community.
Yeah.
They don't have the platform, the easiness. You go there, you find food, you have to go searching everywhere, and it takes too much time.
Yeah, and I
transaction costs.
I've like tried this myself because I had a little cafe and I started an online bakery business, and I did it with Facebook, and it took a lot of time to create this and get followers. So here we have the whole network. You don't need to create it yourself because that's the community of foodies that build this up.
But Facebook has the perk of already having a lot of people in the platform. How are you going to grow your community on your platform?
Yeah, so that's a lot of up to marketing, but now we can take more questions. Sorry.
This is Philip and I'm Jordan and we are Outbranch. Yeah, great. $228 billion, that's how much productivity is lost each year in the OECD countries if each employee loses just 5 minutes per day due to network inefficiencies. But what do we mean by that? If you look at the organization within the firm from the outside, then you only can see the org chart, but that doesn't really reflect reality. For example, look at coal in blue here. The way we work is shaped by complex social networks that control the flow of information and ideas within the firm. What Outbranch does is analyzing these networks, for example, by whom communicates with whom, and then connecting the right people to optimize the network structure. Science has shown that improved network structures lead to an increase in productivity, better knowledge transfer, and better innovation creation. Outbranch is the right tool to achieve exactly that. For example, by receiving an invite to connect to your peers. Of course, there are already some competitors out there that connect employees within the firm, but none of them are automated and data-driven at the same time. They either connect people randomly or require employees to reach out manually to potential connections.
Well, we target companies with more than 250 employees in terms of our market. We think that this market size, or companies with more than 250 employees, warrant, let's say, network optimization the best. In this size bracket, there are more than 135 million people working in Europe alone, which we consider our primary market to begin with. We try to get a 20% share of that market, which would be 27 million employees. But why do we shape our market in terms of employees? Because employees are users, and we have a per-user subscription model at the basis of our business. But in addition, we also have a lot of integrations and scale the pricing based on the enterprise size. This way, we arrive at a $650 million annual recurring revenue at a monthly fee of $2 per employee. We plan to enter the market in 2 stages. First, after building a minimum viable product, we launch with a basic networking plugin for a single communication tool in a company. With the revenues from this, we plan to scale up to a full network optimization suite and develop this and launch this by 2025 with a lot more capabilities. Of course, we care about sustainability as well. Outbranch facilitates decent work and economic growth. Because it includes those employees on the edges of the network. Employees have greater quality of work life because they're more connected to their employees. We also have higher gender equality because Outbranch does not see race, gender, or disability. Diverse connections are created and they help break down, okay. The team behind this is us two, Jordan and myself. We are both very experienced in multinationals and have experienced a lot of frustrations with inefficient information flows. This is why we have the vision of creating a happy and frictionless working life for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, now questions, please.
I can just ask quickly. So who would be the point of contact, you think, at the companies? Would that be the HR department, or who would do it? Why would, whose budgets will you use?
Of course, it is very interesting for HR because of course they are in charge of the organizational structure. But of course depends on the actual structure of the company. If you have certain teams, you have large or big teams, then also the heads of the teams are the points of contact that could be interested in that, because they want their team or their department to be connected to other departments as well. But of course, HR are the people.
So one question, I mean, there are versions of this that exists already. So for example, McKinsey's product development practice uses similar tools to understand which engineers speak to which engineers and therefore what communication channels exist. So what is really new about this?
I think what's really new about this is that our solution will integrate very easily with existing products that companies are using, like Outlook and Slack, and will automatically analyze who connects with whom and then construct social networks based on that. It's very plug and play. It's very easy to use. You don't need a lot of technical knowledge to actually use Outbranch, and will automatically connect those people and send out invites so that the right people can connect, have a coffee together, and build this connection. So it's really automated. It's easy to use, and you can basically deploy it everywhere.
How do you make sure that people continue to use it? This is usually something that you're very excited about in the beginning, but then you sort of forget about?
Well, of course, this is something that is, of course, in the task of either the departments or HR to facilitate this, because they ultimately, it's the company who benefits from this, from these connections and from breaking down silos. So this has to be incentivized. But of course, if it is a good product and it learns and it becomes more intelligent over time, and it's actually it breaks down the hurdle to meet new people, I think it creates an incentive in itself to meet new people from other departments, for example, via invites. Any more questions?
If you have time left, could you describe the product a bit more in detail?
Well, basically,
what data you source? I mean, one thing I'm asking myself is like, how would you know who to meet if you've never emailed with each other? Kind of
well,
thing.
Of course, the organizational structure is, for example, can be saved in the product, and the topics that the different organizations work on as well. And then it can actually look exactly for that, for those people who don't connect, and make them connect.
Yeah, you get an invite, you know whom to meet for coffee. Maybe it tells you exactly where. You just meet up at a specified time, and then you can connect to the person. Thank you for the questions.
Yeah. Cool.
Hi, my name is Connor Bliss, and I will be presenting Keepster. Today in Stockholm, over 200,000 single-use coffee cups will be thrown into the garbage. That's enough rubbish to fill the apartments of all of you judging this pitching competition. To get a better look at the scope of this issue, let's look at the story of Larry. Larry is an environmentally conscious person who loves his coffee. It's a warm spring morning, and he decides he wants to take his cup takeaway. Right now he has two options. Either he uses a single-use plastic cup, knowing that it will be thrown away into landfill, or he brings his own reusable cup and has to carry around a dripping brown container in his briefcase for the rest of the afternoon. But what if there was a better way? Well, lucky for Larry, we at Keepster have found one. Coffee cups as a service. With our solution, you'll be able to walk into your favorite cafe, scan a Keepster using your smartphone, and then take that cup away with you to drink and enjoy where you please. After it's finished, simply return it to one of our conveniently located disposal units in a partnering cafe or school. Rest easy knowing the cups that will then be redistributed by independent contractors to be washed and made available for tomorrow. This market This issue has serious market potential. Using a top-down approach, we have estimated obtainable annual revenues of 135 million SEK from Sweden alone. While this is a novel idea, there are in fact other competitors trying to achieve a similar thing. What sets Keepster apart is the relative ease in which consumers can return cups after they've used them, as well as the level of market penetration we will have achieved in 6 months. Our team comprises of 3 SSE students and a front-end app developer from KY. Between us, we possess all of the competencies needed to execute on this idea. The business model of Keepstar involves revenues from 2 sources. Firstly, cafes will pay us as we're saving them money on single-use plastic, as well as consumers who get to enjoy a more convenient way of being sustainable. There will be ongoing expenditures paid out to the independent contractors who redistribute cups, as well as the cafes who wash them. We estimate a unit economic profit of 2 kronor per cup once fixed costs, marketing and sales have been paid. The future roadmap for Keepstar involves a pilot project which is set to run here at the SSE campus later this month, for which we have already received the green light from the cafe owner. After this, we'll be accepted into the Activate program, which will give us the time and support needed to develop an MVP and roll this solution out to other cafes in Stockholm. When we have gained traction in the capital, we will pursue an aggressive partner acquisition strategy to help us expand into other parts of Sweden, with our eventual rollout in mainland Europe coming in the first half of 2023. As our numbers of users grow, we intend on leveraging our technology and applying it to single-use food containers as well, significantly increasing our value generation. So the vision at Keepstar, the way we envision the future at Keepstar is urban spaces which are free from single-use plastics, where consumers can enjoy their favorite food and beverages in a sustainable and convenient way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know about Loopit quite well, and they're doing this. I think I saw them on your competition slide. How are you doing a better job than they are in returning the cup, for example?
Yes, so the key difference that we have compared to Loopit is when a user returns a Loopit cup, they have to physically hand it to a cafe staff. So this is obviously limited in working in very busy cafes, such as the Espresso House here on Sveavägen. With our solution, you can walk into a cafe, drop it in our disposal unit, and then there is no physical contact required. This is also safer from a hygiene point of view.
And I can continue then. And why would the cafes spend a lot of time on putting these ones in the dishwasher instead of selling more coffee, for example?
Yeah, that's a fair question. And from our interviews with cafe owners, we have found that they have spare capacity with their dishwashers of around 50%. So they're sitting on resources where they're not using. As part of our business model, we are going to pay them half a krona for every cup that they wash. So they will actually benefit from this solution.
I find it very interesting, but isn't there a pretty big startup cost to get the whole system set up?
Yes, so the biggest costs that we've identified will be both the cups and the disposal units, as well as the app that we will need to develop. However, initially with this first pilot project, we don't need to go overly technical. We can just do it with some reusable cups and some bins to see if people actually like this. So to get started, there isn't going to need to be large upfront costs. And then as we prove traction, we find that we will be able to use this to appeal to investors, to have them give us the necessary money to make it happen on a bigger scale.
And how many units do you think you need in order for the system to work? I mean, if they are too far away from each other, then will people actually use them and just decide to throw them away anyhow? Do you have any idea about that? How many you would actually need?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And obviously we do need to try and expand this in a geographical way. So starting here in Stockholm, we're going to focus on the cafes in and around school and the business lab. And then once we have achieved this, we're going to try and use this proof of traction to go to large cafe chains, which we feel, given their large numbers, would provide us the necessary amounts of units to make this work. Thank you for the questions.
Welcome to Outweigh. I want you to look at these pictures. What is this? This is commercial tourism. This is thousands, if not millions of people being directed to the same places month on month in order to have an experience which is socially praised. But there's a problem here. And what is that? Well, this is, first of all, ingenuine. This does not represent the people around. This is not a representation of what you can experience in these places. Furthermore, this is a lot of people, and these places are not built for a lot of people. This is really difficult to maintain. There's a lot of waste management problems, and overall it hurts the local economy because they're not being supported. It's all being commercialized. But at Outweigh, we want our customers to experience something new and unique. Therefore, we think that the best way to do this is to have people from the local cities or places which are engaged and also passionate and culturally aware. We think the best people for this are students. Hi, my name is Aidan, and I am a full-time student. Outweigh is a way for me to share my experiences and knowledge with tourists, engage with new people, and make some money on the side with flexibility. But let's, for example, I'm you. I just came to Stockholm, and I have seen the platforms, I've seen all the typical tours and so on, and I don't see anything interesting, engaging. It's all rather inauthentic. But Outweigh allows me to browse through different categories of experiences, for example, cuisine or art, then book an experience which I find interesting, and then actually have an experience which is engaging, exciting, fun, and most notably memorable. But what about the market for this? Well, as you can see from the slides, it's a very large market, which is actually consistently growing. Therefore, we think we have the capability to not only exist in this market, but also grow, even with these competitors. Yes, I know, those are some big names, but at the same time, they, as much as they promise genuine experiences or better credibility in terms of environmental friendliness, they tend to fall short of the mark and also do it at a very pricey point, which we think we have the advantage on. And the team couldn't be better for this. We have a diverse background, we have a lot of knowledge, we have the technical skills to pull this off, and we all have a very strong entrepreneurial drive, which we think is a benefit to our potential. Now, our business model is very, very simple. We just want to take 20% commission of the revenues. The students who do the tours will get 80%. This is a very simple process, which we think is very fair. And with projections, well, currently there's the recovery from COVID-19, and there has been predicted to be a tourist boom post that. So this is a great time to develop this idea. Furthermore, this is expandable. We think this can go into other cities, for example, Jodhpur or Cape Town, etc. In terms of sustainability, we have sustainable goals in terms of sustainable tourism and so on. But overall, we think this is better for the environment. We think it's a great opportunity for you to work with us on a project which can do a lot of good in the world. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you for your, you go.
Now go ahead, Julia.
I was just wondering why I would, as a consumer, choose to go to a platform that only has students instead of choosing Airbnb, for example, that has a range of different people.
Well, it's a different standpoint, isn't it? I mean, it's a very unique experience. You don't get the typical, oh, we're going to go to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, for example. You have an experience which you might not expect, something where the tours will take you to places, to areas that other tourists don't go, and you don't have to wait in lines for all the big attractions like you usually do.
And is the niche for this also low cost? So it's kind of targeted towards things you can do which are a little bit different and lower cost, so a different segment can use it then? Or?
Absolutely. I mean, it makes a lot of difference. I mean, there will be a variety of activities perhaps, but overall the low cost is a big pull, I believe.
And how do you make money? Commission from the people providing the service? Or? Precisely.
There's going to be commission-based, 20%. Students get 80%. We think this is fair. And it also is great for the customers overall. They see how fair it is, because we'll be very transparent about that.
But again, just to the consumer, why would a student in, say, medicine be an excellent tour guide?
Well, it depends. I mean, obviously, we're going to ask them about their tours. I mean, there will be an approval service on the app, or the platform, rather. It's not just an app. But yes, it's basically we will approve of the tours. We will see what it's like, And if it doesn't meet a certain standard, we'll have a criteria, then we're not going to run it. But overall, if it's a student who knows the city well, they are probably going to have a decent idea of places to go.
Well, the best tours I've ever been to have been made by students.
Precisely.
What risk do you see?
Risks. I believe the biggest risk in this is that the market is not, willing to accept this new kind of product. But I think that can be mitigated by working with smaller tourist firms and tour guides in order to kind of grow a base, especially small tourism bases in cities. I think they can really help promote us. So I think that's the biggest risk, but we have ways around that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
Okay, thank you everyone. Now all teams have presented and we will wait for the jury to decide who's the winner of Guldräven. So we will be back in 15 minutes, so see you later.
What is fuel? A resource? A currency? An energy? What if it's an idea?
My fuel is a healthier world.
A future where your phone doesn't stress you out, it chills you out.
At Fuel by McKinsey, we are fueled by driving growth across the startup landscape.
My Fuel is dreaming up your next favorite app.
A faster, cleaner ride from San Diego to Texas.
Enjoying a sizzling, meaty burger where no animals were harmed in the process.
We help startups and their investors to higher valuations and faster finishes.
My fuel is leaving the world better than I entered it.
And corporates to perpetuate a culture of innovation.
A future where men can have a seat at the table, too.
My fuel is funding the makers of tomorrow.
Because the people who innovate today get to decide what tomorrow looks like.
My fuel is enhancing reality.
Feels like.
My fuel is finding new canvases.
Behaves like.
My fuel is teaching machines to learn.
No matter what fuels you, we can help you accelerate. So, what's your fuel? Fuel. Power to the makers.
Hi, my name is Julia Delin and I'm the CEO at SSE Business Lab. SSE Business Lab is the venture incubator of Stockholm School of Economics, and we help you as a founder get support with everything that you need to be able to start a business. And for us, that is coaching, mentorship. You are eligible to be connected to investors and anyone in the network that you might need, and of course the access to our office space in the beautiful A house up at Östermalmsgatan. We do that by running two different programs, one called Activate, where we help teams with just an idea getting out to the market and getting a prototype out to a customer. And then we have the program called Incubate, where we help teams who already have a prototype and a first customer grow internationally.
What is fuel? A resource? A currency? An energy? What if it's an idea?
My fuel is a healthier world.
A future where your phone doesn't stress you out, it chills you out.
At Fuel by McKinsey, we're fueled by driving growth across the startup landscape.
My Fuel is dreaming up your next favorite app.
A faster, cleaner ride from San Diego to Texas.
Enjoying a sizzling, meaty burger where no animals were harmed in the process.
We help startups and their investors to higher valuations and faster finishes.
My fuel is leaving the world better than I entered it.
And corporates to perpetuate a culture of innovation.
A future where men can have a seat at the table, too.
My fuel is funding the makers of tomorrow.
Because the people who innovate today get to decide what tomorrow looks like.
My Fuel is enhancing reality.
Feels like.
My fuel is finding new canvases.
Behaves like.
My fuel is teaching machines to learn.
No matter what fuels you, we can help you accelerate. So, what's your fuel? Fuel. Power to the makers.
Hi, my name is Julia Delin and I'm the CEO at SSE Business Lab. SSE Business Lab is the venture incubator of Stockholm School of Economics, and we help you as a founder get support with everything that you need to be able to start a business. And for us, that is coaching, mentorship. You are eligible to be connected to investors and anyone in the network that you might need, and of course the access to our office space in the beautiful A House up at Östermalmsgatan. We do that by running two different programs, one called Activate, where we help teams with just an idea getting out to the market and getting a prototype out to a customer. And then we have the program called Incubate, where we help teams who already have a prototype and a first customer grow internationally. Okay, welcome back everyone. The results are in and the jury has decided who's the winner. But first, let me present the prizes for this year. In third place, you have won a 1-year subscription at Omni Economy. In second place, you will win a 1-year subscription on Omni Economy and 1-year subscription on Fortnox. And for the first prize, you win 1 spot at the SEC Business Lab Activate program, consultation from McKinsey Fuel, market validation with Ambitious Africa, individual consultation with the legendary entrepreneur and angel investor Peter Westerbacka, 1-year subscription on Omni Economy, and of course the prestigious title as the winner of Guldräven 2021. So, Julia, let us hear.
Hi everyone, it's been a real pleasure to listen to all of your pitches. I think I speak for the entire jury when I say we were so impressed by everyone. And of course, from the Business Lab side, I encourage you all to apply. I think that you have great ideas. But we had to choose the top 3, and then of course 1 winner. So on third place, we have Caliber. Congratulations. On second place, we have Outbranch. Very good. And then for the motivation of the winner, it goes like this. The winning team solves a clearly defined global challenge with a specific solution that relates to multiple SDG goals. The team is also diverse with the relevant industry knowledge for this business. With a great presentation, the jury chose the winning team to be EMEC. Congratulations.
Woo! Congratulations. Here we have the winning team, and we want to thank everyone for watching and for the amazing jury to be here with us today, and we'll see you next year. So thank you everyone.